Welcome here. Sorry if I'm screaming and fuzzing on your monitors.
Whoa, it's fuzzing in my ears. How's it going, guys?
Welcome here to our three-man kick, snare, and hats jam. I'm Jared. Dave.
I'm Dave.
Sean.
It's Sean. And today, we're here to talk about bass drum technique. Now, first I want to talk just about a few other things. Number one, we will be doing another jam at the end of the lesson.
Catch your breath first before you go on.
Second, we're doing drum lessons live once per month, okay? So always check back, drumlessons.com/live. Once a month, we're going to do something like this. Well, not always exactly like this. Today's topic is bass drum technique, but every month there'll be a different topic, and we're going to teach you guys some stuff. We're going to play a little bit for you, and maybe sometimes we'll give some stuff away, sometimes do stuff like that. So
You never know.
yeah. So thank you so much for showing up, and thank you so much for sharing. I know some of you guys saying, "Can I promote this? You know, do you want me to send it out to my Facebook friends?" That is just awesome. The more people we get here, the better. The more people that watch these videos, the more of them we'll do. So please promote, send it out, and share with all your friends on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Right? You're
Social media.
You're a big Twitterer, Sean. The other thing I wanted to talk about, this is before we kind of get into the actual meat of the lesson, is on bassdrumsecrets.com, us three, we recently put some other stuff together, some actual videos, and we are launching what we're calling a bass drum boot camp. It's a little bit of a mini-series. Go, you can do it now if you want to open up another window, but go to bassdrumsecrets.com, and there's a little video of me there, acting all professional and asking you guys to sign up for more info. But just go to bassdrumsecrets.com, sign up. Honestly, you will not be disappointed.
No, it's really cool.
The first video that you get is a very, very interesting video that I guarantee you have never seen anything like it.
You'll get a good laugh out of it, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's like a 10-minute video, but it's a lesson, so you're gonna hopefully learn something. The second thing I want to talk about. Let me just get to my notes here.
Good old.
Oh yeah, the second thing I want to talk about. Sorry, you had something to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Wherever you're watching this video, you guys, wherever you're watching it. There's probably somewhere below. Right now, there's if you're watching it live, there's a little Facebook commenting system below. I want you to answer this question, and that is, what are your biggest struggles with bass drum technique? Okay, so if you're watching this a year from the time we actually filmed it, and you're on YouTube, type in the biggest struggles of your bass drum technique. I read all those comments. These guys are going to read all those comments too, and so we'd absolutely love to hear what you're struggling with and what we can help you with, because that's what we're here to do. That's why we do these lessons. These lessons are all for you guys.
Jared, you got the worst jokes today.
I always have the worst jokes, dude.
Yeah.
I'm the worst joker. So today, here's what's on the agenda. Leave it to Dave. Bowl in a china shop. Here's what's on the agenda. We're going to start off. Dave is going to be teaching us some slide technique. Second, Sean is going to be teaching us some flat foot.
Go through some flat foot and some speed building exercises.
Yeah. Singles, the guy's freaking nuts. And then I'm going to be teaching you guys some heel toe technique and how to develop it with both feet and stuff like that. So definitely want to stick around for this. Dave, why don't you get us going with the slide technique? This is something that I just don't understand. I've never been able to play it. I've always been a heel toe guy.
Yeah, have you actually even tried it?
I have tried it, and I suck horribly at it.
It's probably the same with me in the heel toe. It's funny, I tried doing the heel toe and I just can't do it, just like Jared tries doing the slide.
His pedal fell apart earlier.
I tried doing heel toe and my pedal actually fell apart. It's like it does not like heel toe. So that's why I teach the slide technique. And the slide technique, you can get similar results, pretty much identical results.
Yeah, sure.
With the slide technique and the heel toe. I guess it's just whatever you start with or whatever you're most comfortable with. Me being a heels up drummer, which means my heels actually never really touch the bottom of the pedal or touch the ground, I naturally chose slide technique. It actually just started happening and I was like, oh, what is this technique that I'm doing? And eventually I found that it was called the slide technique. But basically what you're doing is you're utilizing the physics of your pedal. Sounds a little advanced, but it's not. You're just utilizing the bounce back of your beater and your actual footboard to get two strokes. And how it's done is it's called the slide technique. So you actually are sliding your pedal or your foot up the pedal. And I've seen a lot of drummers, most of the drummers that I've seen do it from the middle to the top of the pedal. But I've seen drummers that can go from side to side like this. I've seen some drummers even talk about sliding down the pedal. But the way I teach it and the way I do it, I start in the middle of the pedal here, and I slide my foot up. And it's kind of cool because you start by hitting your first beat, probably right around the middle of the pedal right here. Okay. So you kick down the first time, and as you let go and start sliding up, the foot's gonna, or the beater and the footboard's gonna start coming back up this way. And by the time that's come up to the point where it can touch your other foot, you've already moved your foot and slid it up the top of the pedal so you can hit it again. So let me explain that again for you here. First stroke, right around the middle of the pedal here. Then you slide your foot up to get a second stroke. I did two there accidentally. Okay, another thing I'm going to quickly point out is I'm not just sliding my foot. A lot of people think that all they need to do is slide their foot, like almost like they're kicking a ball, like just moving their whole leg up. That's not all you have to do. And the way I do it is I actually push my toes down a little bit once I get to the end. So the first kick, I kick down with my toes here in the middle, and then as I'm sliding, I lift my feet up and kick again once I've slid up to the top of the pedal. Let me show you what it looks like fast so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. So you can see how I'm actually sliding, almost like I'm kicking up the pedal. And like I said, you can try experimenting going side to side, but it's best done if you go from the middle of the pedal up to the top because you're getting the full angle of the pedal here. And by the time it comes back, you're hitting it with the most power on the second stroke at the tip of the actual pedal here. So you can do this in all different kinds of applications. What I do notice that there is a certain tempo though that you need to be at before you can actually start playing it. If you do it too slow, it doesn't really work too well. But for all you beginners out there, for people who have never done this before, to start out with, basically put your foot right in the middle of the pedal here and get one stroke. Okay? Then what you're going to do is exaggerate the motion, lift your toe up a little bit, slide it to the end, push your toe down again, get the second stroke. Do this, exaggerate those motions, do them really slow if you have to. It might look like this when you're starting. Okay, so it might look and sound a little bit silly, but if you exaggerate those motions as you speed them up, they'll become more natural to the point where you can start playing pretty fast, like this.
One sec. Are we off air? Okay.
Cool. So I'll continue here. So when you're playing this exercise, you might ask, okay, now that I've got the motions down, what is a great exercise to develop your speed and develop that feel? And there's an exercise that I've used, actually Jared showed it to me a long time back, and it is a triplet exercise. It's almost like a gallop, and you're going to be playing your quarter notes, or if you're doing eighth note triplets, your eighth notes on here, on your hi-hats, and then you're going to fill in the rest with your bass drum. So it'll be 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, and so forth. You can add a snare in to make it sound like a beat, but here's that exercise. I'm going to show you how you can really start working just on your speed and control with your slide technique. Here we go. So you see, as you slow it down, it starts getting a little bit choppier because there has to be that certain tempo that you're at in order for it to really be effective. Yeah. So basically, that's the slide technique. Hopefully, I did a good job explaining it to you. It's fairly easy once you start getting those motions down. And if you guys are a heels up player, if you notice when you sit at the drums, you like to play like this. If you want to go down to my feet there, you can see. If you like to play the drums like this and get a lot of power in there, then the slide technique might just be for you. So definitely give it a try. I mean, you might just find that it's a pretty sweet exercise or a pretty sweet technique that.
And so how long do you think it took you to develop? Like I know a lot of people when I ask that question, they're like bass drum speed.
Yeah.
They want to know bass drum speed.
Yeah.
And so is it something that you learned and then within a week you're able to play it like that, or did it take you longer than that?
Of course not. No, it's just like a lot of techniques, whether it's your single stroke roll, double stroke roll, or whatever on your sticks, it does take time to develop the speed. What you will notice though is it'll take a while for you to start developing that feel, but once you get that feel, once you start understanding how you can utilize the actual motions of this bass drum pedal to get faster speeds, you'll notice that you'll spike up and all of a sudden you'll be able to play really fast doubles. But it does take a lot of time to be able to get the control down where you can play it in certain tempos, because a lot of people, they can play it either really fast or they can't play it at all. So in order to be able to develop that control where you can speed it up and slow it down, so it does take time to learn, especially if you're going to try it on your left foot too, which is do the same exercises just for your left foot. But once you get into it though, you will find that once you understand the motions, it will spike and you'll be able to play fast, but it does take time to be able to control it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Cool. And now you also did something that you like to call a slide triplet. And it's not necessarily always a triplet, obviously, but it's just because it's a quick burst of three notes.
Yeah, I call it the slide triplet, but you don't have to play it in a triplet feel. Basically what it is I have a double pedal here, double bass pedal. So what I do is when I'm playing, and I started doing this when I first started playing the slide technique, is I would play two notes, just like that. And what I would do is I would cap it off or finish it with another extra note on my left foot. And in total, that would equal three notes. Just like that. And once you get going really fast, you can start playing it in almost like a setup for different shots. You can play it in some beats, you can play it in fills, and it makes it sound like you're playing really, really fast, but really all it is a slide technique double, followed by just a single on your left foot. Let me show you some of the different kind of beats and fills that you can do with it. Here we go. So you can put them in beats. I was doing a lot of shots with them, almost kind of like a four-stroke roll, or sorry, single stroke four, where you play 1, 2, 3, 4. My 3 would be on the bass drum, and my last note would be on like the snare or something for an accent, but there's a lot of uses for it. And the cool thing about the slide triplet is it didn't take me long to learn. Once I got this down with the slide technique, it's just adding an extra foot, and people will think that you're a phenomenal double bass player, even though you're just kind of doing slide. Yeah.
So you guys, for Dave's actually on the Bass Drum Secrets boot camp I was telling you about, the Bass Drum boot camp, there's actually some slow motion footage of this that's going to be released within the next week or so. So like I said earlier, make sure you get to the website and just sign up there quickly. It only takes a couple seconds, and then you can get some of the slow motion stuff. Because I know it's easiest to play fast, and it's really hard to play slow, so it's something that you have to play fast and then slow it down in post. Yeah. Everything we're showing is that way, just so you guys know. But we wanted to kind of give you an overview of some of the techniques that we're covering in the boot camp over there.
Yeah.
Great. So next up, Sean, a lot of people are actually already asking just about like heels down or flat foot singles, and then obviously swivels is a big thing that's always on the agenda, and then the fast singles thing. So
yeah, so I'll start out by going through flat foot. Now originally I had been using heel up to do all my double pedal, and I'll just show you really quickly what just all heel up double pedal looks like, and it's kind of rough, but. So basically, if you want to get a hernia, that's a good way to go about it.
If you want to get a hernia.
Yeah.
Nice.
You feel it right there, and then,
You look very angry when you did that.
Hey, I'm a really angry guy. So after a while of just like my band was writing these like stupidly fast songs, and I was feeling like I was dead after every single band practice. I started hearing about this technique on a couple forums called the flat foot technique, and it sounded like it could be something that I could use because it was similar to heel up, but you basically slide your feet back. You don't even have to slide your feet back, but I find that you get a better economy of motion that way. So you slide your feet back, and you keep your heel, like it'll depend on what you're wearing and what your pedals are, but keep your heel an inch and a half off of the floor. So you can probably see in the video there, and basically from there, you use the same muscle in your ankle there that you would use for heel up, but you're not bringing the whole leg into it anymore. Now you're basically using a little bit of calf. You'll feel it right here and right here, but you're basically just saving your energy and letting the smaller muscles, the faster muscles, take care of the faster work rather than your legs. So I'll show you what flat foot double bass now looks like, so you can compare it to the heel up that I just showed you. So basically what this is allowing you to do is it's allowing you to stay completely relaxed so you don't just burn out right away.
And how would one person go about developing that? Like when you decided you wanted to use the flat foot technique, what's the first thing you did, or what's the first thing you practiced?
Well, I tried to make this happen, and it was very awkward feeling because I was so used to just powering through my pedals.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing is, if you're in high school and you've got an exam that's coming up and you know that you're just going to bomb it, you're just kind of sitting there and your legs just kind of twitching.
Not that you advocate or condone bombing.
No. But basically, you're just kind of sitting there and your legs just kind of got this natural twitch going. And your actual full leg isn't making it happen. It's just the muscles down here. You basically just take that and apply it right there. And then what you want to do is kind of work on controlling that. See if you can do it slower, if you can get it going faster. And that's basically the general mechanics behind the flat foot, staying relaxed and controlled. Now, I've got a few exercises to show you guys on how you can actually achieve control and consistency. And so I'll show you that right now. Basically, you're going to be doing 2 hits on the hi-hat or the ride or snare even, what have you, for every, 1 hit on the hi-hat for every 2 hits you do on the bass drum. Now, that's basically going to amount to quarter notes and eighth notes, or eighth notes and 16th notes, whatever. So find a tempo that is a little bit stretching, actually ability-wise, and stick with that and kind of come in and come out every time you feel like it's going to kind of fall apart. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll do it with my right, and then I'll take it over and I'll do it with my left, because we want to basically isolate both feet so that you have the same ability on both sides. So I'll show you that now. So basically, the tempo that I started with was just to kind of show you how it works, but it wasn't really pushing me. So I took it up to a tempo that I knew I could keep it at for a while, but that it was going to really actually test my ability. And so once my right foot started to kind of get sloppy, I switched to the left and went back and forth, and that'll really, really increase your ability.
So how long do you think someone should do that every day? Like let's say they're semi-serious and they really want to get fast within the next year. They want to be really fast.
I'd say do that for, between 15 minutes and a half hour a day. Just long enough that you're getting something out of it, but that you're not sucking all the fun out of drumming, because you want to drum, you don't want to just train. And training is kind of, after a while, it just feels like a chore. You want to be able to basically go through that and then play around with it. You want to document where you're at so you can actually see like, hey, I was at 16th notes at 120 BPM when I started, and it's 3 months later, and I'm at like 16th notes at 160 BPM. That's actually like some really good progress.
Yeah.
So you have a number associated with it, and then you just kind of go from there.
And then when would you put it together to actually start developing the fast singles? Like what now you're doing separately, right? Obviously, because you're only as strong as your weakest limb, or you're only as fast as your slowest limb. So at what point do you say, okay, this is great, now I'm going to start putting them together?
That's a totally good point. I actually have another exercise for that where I basically combine what I just showed you guys with actually doing alternating strokes. So I'll show you that right now.
Yeah, that's great. So 8, 8 together.
And then 8, but 16 hits total.
16, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And so, that'll get the burn going, and you'll really be able to see your progress too, which is really nice.
So for all you guys, it's a question that comes up constantly in all of our lessons. Like we have, I mean, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of comments throughout our network of websites on all of our lessons. And this is such a popular topic from drummers. They just want to get fast with their singles.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people trying to find like a quick way out or a cheat in order to get faster strokes, when I think all of us know that it just takes a ton of practicing and developing, because it's a lot. These are big muscles. Your legs are big muscles, you know. So
there is no easy way out. Like you wouldn't go to the gym and try to bench press 400 pounds if you were doing 200 pounds yesterday. You just kill yourself.
You have to work yourself up to it. And so there are ways and there's techniques you can do that to speed up the progress, for sure. And this is, I think, one of those great exercises. It's actually a similar exercise to what I always teach on with finger control and hands and stuff. Yeah. I do like 4, 4, 4, 4 together. 4, 4, 4, 4 together, that sort of thing. But cool.
Well, and it's really important to make sure that when you start doing these practice patterns that you have the right technique. The last thing you want to do is practice 20 minutes a day for the next year with the wrong technique. Then it's for sure.
Yeah.
So you're going to show some heel toe?
Yeah, we are. I just want to ask you guys a few questions that I see kind of coming up here in the thing. And that is, Dave, what is your spring tension set?
My spring tension set is fairly loose. And it actually took these guys to tell me that, because I don't usually play on other pedals. They come on there and like, oh, your spring's pretty loose. And, you know, the more and more I think about it, and the more that I've been, I'm working on slide technique, I find that having more of a looser setting on my spring tension really helps me feel my pedal quite well, and allows me to hit that second stroke with more accuracy. Now that's everybody's different. I mean, I can do the heel technique, in fact, or the slide technique. Sorry, I was actually just playing it on Sean's bass drum, and I've done it on Jared. So it's not the biggest deal, but mine's fairly loose. So
what about you, Sean?
Well, if the factory settings are considered halfway, 50%, then I'd say my pedals are at about 75% tension. So I tension them a little bit more. I like the kind of increased rebound that I get out of that. I've tried putting them to the max before, and it's really, really good to kind of work the muscle there, but I find that most people, even myself, like if I'm just trying to get into the music and I've got this insane spring tension, I'm really like working against the bass drum almost. And so I like to have a little bit of give there so I can play around and still actually, you know, groove with the music.
Yeah, and mine are similar. Like I always say medium tension. And then as far as distance, the beater is away from the head. I mean, it's anywhere between 5 to 7 inches, I would say. If it's too close, like I've seen some guys have that close like that, and then their spring tension cranked. What happens is you'll lose a lot of the power within the strokes. And if you need just very, very light strokes, but you kind of want to flutter, like a little hummingbird on the bass drum, that's fine. Yeah, I haven't ever encountered a situation where that's necessary, and so I keep them back. This is actually farther than normal. Dave's, yours are about where you always have them.
Yeah.
And so that's that sort of thing. So if you guys do have any more questions, just continue to post them. We're going to watch them. We got a couple guys watching in the other room as well. And so if anything comes up that we're absolutely missing, we want to make sure we get to it for you.
For sure.
One more thing on the what Sean was talking about. There is a video of him coming out soon in the Bass Drum Bootcamp. I keep flogging it, but bassdrumsecrets.com. And that there's going to be some slow motion footage of all the stuff he was doing there. So I highly
It's free to sign up too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you didn't mention it. It's not going to cost anything. It's just sign up there and you get the video. It's pretty cool.
It's all right. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, maybe they don't want to go because it might cost them, but no, it's free. So.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So now, are you? Am I good to move on to the heel toe?
Good to go.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. So here's a. Now I want to talk about the heel toe technique. This is something that it's just like. there's so much chatter online about this. Is like, who can do it? I don't have the right pedals to do this. My feet are size 15. I can't do the heel-toe technique. Well, my spring tension doesn't go tight enough. I can't do the heel-toe technique. So all that stuff is the way I teach the heel-toe technique and the way I've been teaching it for almost 5 years now. That stuff doesn't really matter at all. And what I teach is, I call it heel-toe, and when everyone sees it, they say, hey, that's heel-toe, but it's actually more of a toe-toe stroke. And it's actually, if you sign up for the bass drums boot camp, it's the first lesson. You get it like right today. There's like 10 minutes of a bunch of different slow motion and stuff. And in there, I actually will demonstrate with different footwear. You know, I'll put on snowboard boots and work boots and stuff. It's awesome. Ridiculous. But so let's just kind of go over the basic technique. I'll show you exactly what it is that I play, and then we can go over some applications and stuff like that. So let's go down here, James. Okay, you want to start, this is your starting position, especially when first developing the technique, okay? You don't always have to play it like this. Eventually, once you get the motion down, you'll just be able to throw it in wherever, and it won't even matter. It won't matter if you're like this or not. But when you're first learning, start like this, okay? So heel in the air, toe right close to the top of the pedal, and beater resting on the head, okay? You can see I'm able to push on the head there, so it's resting on the head. Then, all that happens, the motion, is it drops, okay? Now my heel hits this back foot plate. But as I drop, you're gonna see the beater hit once, and then I come up again, and then I'm back in my starting position. So you start and end in the exact same position, okay? So the exact motion would look like this, slowed down, like ultra slow, to the point it doesn't even make sense, okay? But that's the motion, and it's kind of this rocking motion that happens, okay? And I've taught this to, I mean, thousands and thousands of drummers, and usually you can get the rocking motion within, some people within 5 minutes, some people within a week. But if you practice it hard enough, it's gonna come, and it's gonna happen really fast. So now let's speed it up, and I'll show you how it sounds fast. Okay, and so you saw it happening there. You saw my heel wasn't actually creating a stroke. My heel was hitting this part of the pedal down here every single time. And I'll move my foot down, and I'll play the technique again like this. All right, so the whole thing about my foot's too big, I can't do it, doesn't matter. The whole thing about my pedal doesn't go tight enough, doesn't matter. You need a pedal that'll spring back after you hit it, which, I mean, if your bass drum pedal doesn't spring back after you push it down, then you need a new bass drum pedal. Yeah. Can you imagine? Every time you hit it, you have to like pull it off.
I've actually seen that before. Some people actually just deal with that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta save that bass drum hit for that one specific time you need it. But so that's the thing, or that's the heel-toe technique. So now I'm just going to use it in a similar groove to what Dave was showing you guys before, and this is a cool way to develop it. It's just a 16th note triplet groove, so 1 triplet and triplet, 2 triplet and triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, or 3 triplet and triplet, 4 triplet and triplet. Okay, so let me show you guys how that sounds. Okay, so you guys are going to feel the burn like right in here, especially at first in here and a little bit back here. So just expect that. The first time, you won't be able to do it for very long, and that's probably normal, especially when you're doing something constant like that sort of exercise. And then I want to show you guys Well, I just want to make sure there's no questions on that. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I think you did a pretty good job explaining, especially when you went back on the pedal too.
Yeah.
So you can show that it doesn't take a longboard pedal to do.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a longboard pedal. These are my new Speed Cobras that Sean hooked me up with. And they are a longboard pedal, but you don't need a longboard to do the technique. Actually, in the bass drum boot camp, I purposely, and even in the video, I say, I'm using just a regular Iron Cobra pedal because I didn't want people to say you can only do it on a longboard. Look at him, he's only doing it on a longboard and he couldn't do it on a regular pedal. I could go over there and do it on Dave's pedal. It's no problem.
If my pedal doesn't break.
Yeah, your pedal doesn't like the ear.
Another thing I want to talk to you guys about and is doing it on the hi-hat, okay? Because I know a lot of you guys, or a lot of people out there, they're all about, I don't want to call them drumming purists, but they're people who don't like to use double pedal. And for me, that's like saying you're only allowed to hit the snare drum with one hand. You can't use your other hand on it. It's like, why can't I use two beaters on a bass drum? I have two legs. That just seems useless. But I know there's some people that are all about the single pedal and the hi-hat. But news for you is, I got news for you, and that is
Got news for you guys.
you're still a double pedal drummer because you have the hi-hat pedal.
Yes.
Okay? So for all you guys who say you don't like double pedals, it's not how it should be. I mean,
Jared's got news for you.
Yeah, I got news for you. I'm so cheesy.
Newsflash.
But what I want to show you guys is on the hi-hat, this sort of thing works as well, okay? And let me just play it with
So
my
you're
left
gonna actually you're gonna do the heel toe on the hi-hat?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just do quarters on the, like quarter notes on the right foot, dun, 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 and I'll do dun, 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 dun,
Oh, I see.
Okay?
So you're like splashing it almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here you go. This is what it's going to create there. Still up. Okay.
That's a really cool application.
Yeah, and
Very
so there,
cool.
and then another application I want to show you guys quickly is splitting your left foot here. Jim, can they see my left foot? By the way, you guys, we got to introduce you to the guys in the room. There's Jamie on switching video, and Vic on the audio. This audio nightmare. 3 bass drums. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Okay, so here's what I want to do next, and that's basically a kind of 6-stroke roll hybrid. So a double with the right, a double with the left, and then 2 singles. And then hopefully you're going to get that splashing sound over here. This is sliding a little bit forward. Okay, let's try that.
Okay, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can, you can do that. I'm almost sure you can do the same thing with slide stick. I've never actually tried that.
How do you do that with slide though? Because right now I'm able to split my foot and get 2 strokes, but because your foot is moving right to left, that's where I think it would be a lot harder.
Well, you do. So it would have a different sound on your hi-hat.
Yeah, another thing you could do as well is, I don't know if this will work right now, but I could put my heel just on my pedal.
Yeah.
And so my pedal would be hitting on like the downbeat or a different note, because you notice my heel doesn't actually create a stroke on the bass drum. It's the 2 toe strokes. So I could make use of this for the drop on the heel and create a hi-hat stroke and then get 2 strokes as well on the bass drum. So your left foot's like working overtime.
Getting pretty crazy.
Yeah. You get some cool
now you have to teach heel toe to me.
So let me just play that for you
Yeah,
guys.
let's do that.
Yeah, so that's another application there, and that's the beauty of learning it with your left foot is you can start incorporating all the rudiments.
Can you just show? I want you to show like a double stroke roll, just with the 2 bass drums, without including the hi hat.
Okay.
That's
Putting me on the spot here.
No, I'm not putting you on the spot. You do it all the time. I want to show, like, because you can get some insane speeds doing double strokes.
I haven't like, I really when Kobus came out here, right, he just recently saw Chris Coleman at NAMM. Chris Coleman's like insanely fast, gospel style drummer, and he mentioned one thing that Chris said is without control, speed is nothing. You can have the fastest car in the world, but if you don't have brakes, you're just going to crash it and it's going to be absolutely useless. And so I really respect that and took that to heart. And so it's not all about speed. Speed will come, but it's about control. And that's why I've really been working on all the rudimentary stuff with the feet, because I think that's going to help me maintain control of my right and left foot, and then the speed's going to come. But let me play you a double stroke roll.
Yeah.
Since you asked. That's just a straight double stroke roll, and if you're playing everything and it's really warm, you can go faster than that. But for me, it's more about the combinations that you can come up with between the 2 limbs. Because I mean, this is something we showed in another lesson we did. But I just played a regular groove with 16th notes on the bass drum, adding 2 and 4 on the snare, with double strokes, and then you show them how it sounds with single strokes. Do you mind doing that again?
Sure.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play double strokes. And then Sean's going to play that same groove with single strokes. And you're going to hear how it's the same exact notes being played, but the texture in the groove actually feels different played with doubles and singles. Here we go. Yeah, so you're going to probably hear more like with Sean, more consistent and stuff like that, whereas mine's like a little woo.
It's got a kind of a dynamic signature to it. It's like very, what's the word? Distinct.
Yeah.
And for you guys out there, I've seen guys do this exact same kind of stuff with the slide technique as well. So I know right now it sounds like, oh man, the slide tech or the heel toe technique is totally the way to go.
It is the way to go.
I'm not actually that up to speed with my left foot on there, but I am working on the double stroke roll, and the speeds that I can get with my single are equal to the speeds Jared can get on his single. It's just his left foot is completely trained like that. So.
And a guy like Virgil Donati, he uses slide with both feet. Is that right? You watch more of him, but
I think he's got some slide going. It's like a heel up slide kind of. So that's what you got.
From the videos I watched of him, I had this. I forget the DVD was called, but it's a wicked DVD of him just going nuts with both feet and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is the heel toe. Now, if there are any questions, you guys just go ahead and post them in the chat. We're going to do our best to get to them. James, if I miss any of them, like really important ones pertinent to this sort of topic, let me know. Do you guys have any questions for each other? Anything else you want to add to your...
There's one thing that I will add, and we were talking about this before, and that is definitely take the time to develop one of these techniques. I know a lot of people, when they get their double pedal, they just find that they can go really fast, like just doing double pedal stuff, where that's cool and all, but when you get to a kit where there's only one pedal and there's no double bass, you'll have to be able to do the same kind of patterns with only one foot. Also, when you're actually doing these kind of fills, like even if it's like a Mike Portnoy hand-to-feet combo, being able to do it with one foot, to be able to do like trading 2s and 4s or something like that, allows you to actually keep your foot on the hi-hat so you can keep your hi-hats closed. It allows you to use maybe another auxiliary pedal or something. So it is really cool to learn. I just wanted to mention that because I've seen a lot of drummers saying, well, why would I need to bother learning to go that fast when I can just, do that? So that's just my little piece of advice for you guys. If you're not sure which one to use, try all three, whatever one feels the most comfortable. I mean, you can always learn all three.
I would. We talked about this in the lesson. I would try and pick one for now. Like you can work on all three, but I mean, there's there's so much stuff to practice. I wouldn't recommend exclusively working on bass drum technique.
Yeah, for sure.
It's obviously extremely important because I think it's the foundation of our grooves and how our drums feel and sound like that. But there's lots of other things as well. So how about let's do another jam, guys?
Yeah, why not?
Sounds good.
Hey guys, we got a couple of questions here.
Okay, go for it.
Wesley Gayton, what is a good way to maintain my speed on the bass drum?
Maintain.
If you're talking about ways to build stamina, because you basically need stamina to maintain speed. So you just need to practice maintaining speed. So find a speed that you can maintain and bump it up a little bit and see how long you can maintain that.
Yeah.
And basically you're gonna build speed and stamina only by challenging yourself and seeing how long you can drag it out.
Yeah. And one thing I would do for that is if I was going to work on maintaining longevity and stamina in double strokes, I would start with just like a very slow single stroke roll. And then I would throw in bursts of doubles. So maybe 4 to start. And then I would move to 8. And then I move to 16. And then I move to 32. And then I would keep it going more constant. Hey, you can hear the train.
Nice. Hey,
Railroad media, guys.
We are railroad media, I
We're
guess.
literally right by the train tracks here. Okay, let me show you guys how that sounds. Sorry for going so fast there, Vic. That was the train threw me off.
The train, yeah.
So the same thing could be applied to singles as
Yeah.
well. Just single, and then
Yeah.
same thing.
And it's similar to the exercise you were playing before, right? Like 8 with one foot, 8 with the other foot. Then you go 16 with 2, but you could do 16 with 2 to start, and then 32nd.
There are
32.
any amount of variations you
Yeah.
could pop in there.
Yeah.
My input on this subject would be to track your progress, use a timer and a metronome. And the reason why I say that is when I'm practicing my stamina and my longevity on single strokes or double strokes or whatever it is, I will usually do like a 1 minute at a time type of interval. And what that does is not only does it tell me how fast I am and what my progress is, as like you were talking about with charting your progress, but it also shows me that 1 minute is actually quite a long time. And when I'm at the 45-second mark, normally I would just stop. I'm like, okay, I'm too tired. But when I see I only have 15 seconds left, I try to really burn through it and just do whatever I can to get to that 1 minute mark. So it really helps force you to work on your stamina and then bump it up to 2 minutes
push it.
and 3 minutes. It really helps you push it and stuff. So even if it's just on your phone or something like that, there's all little timers on that.
And one thing that I've been doing like that is not only will I be playing certain tempos and certain patterns for a certain amount of time, and then kind of record what I did, I'll also actually write down how my legs or hands or whatever felt at that time, so I can see, okay, I could pull that off and it felt terrible, or I can pull that off and it felt fine, and so I bumped it up, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Cool. Okay, guys, I want to mention a couple more things. The first thing is one more time, I guess, maybe one more time after this, but it's the bass drum boot camp. Okay, there's all the slow motion stuff for heel toe slide, and then all the flat foot stuff Sean's doing. All that stuff's coming.
Yeah.
The heel toe is there right now, waiting for you. Okay, it won't be up there forever, but it's there right now, waiting for you. So I highly recommend you go sign up there and grab that. And there's an area to comment in there and I'll be answering your questions there more. So I know there's obviously limited time here and we're live and we have to go home for dinner soon, so we can't stay here forever.
We have great dinner. We only drum.
Well, I would really like to do like a long marathon, like a 24-hour, 48.
Isn't there a record? Something like
I
that?
don't want to get a record. I just think it'd be cool to be online for like 48 hours.
I
and
think
just-
it'd be cool to challenge that record. Get enough drummers.
Well, there's one guy did it. Lou Mars did it for like 108 and a half,
Oh, okay, forget
108.5 hours.
But I
forget
think there were
that.
breaks allowed though, like
5 minutes.
potty breaks and
You
food
bank
breaks and
5
stuff.
minutes per hour and stuff. It was
Yeah.
crazy, and he actually like was just play hard. I think he has a world record. I don't think legit. He actually has a world record. I think some other guy does, but that guy just like kind of tap around.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I want to mention, you guys, is you'll notice on the right-hand side of the page, which is to your right over there.
There you go.
And then down, a little bit down, there is drumlessons.com Facebook page. And you need to like that, okay?
Yes.
Like that up, share it with your friends. That's what's going to allow us to continue to do these and do more and more of them. Continue to get these guys back out and give you guys this amazing, crazy, good content.
Yeah, plus
for
you
free.
can get an idea, because we post when we're going to do our next one, right? So you'll get reminders that way too.
Yeah, it's a wicked community we have here on drumlessons.com, and it's only continually growing. So we're just in the process of updating our videos. So
Jared just sold some of his drum gear on Facebook too. So I mean, he posts his own gear on there. So if you want, and he actually sells them pretty good prices too.
Yeah.
So there you go.
For the community, it's always the cheapest, cheaper than the final value fees on eBay. I rarely sell drum gear, but okay. With that said, I think we should do another jam. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yes.
start us out, and we only got snare, hi-hat, and bass drum. So I mean, if it's a little too repetitive, we apologize. But
So nice. Thanks for coming out, guys, and we'll
yes,
see you
thanks
again
for
soon.
stopping in.